What are you playing, Mike?
Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, innit?
Ah, wouldn't have had you down as a JRPG fan. That's quite
Hang on, I'm getting something. B? Os. B-os. B-os. Boss. I have psychically deduced there's a boss fight coming up.
Oh, well done, Mike. I take it back. You are a genuine psychic. I mean, you've not played Ni no Kuni 2 before. How else could you have possibly known there was a boss fight coming here in this big, round, suspiciously quiet arena-type place that's totally enclosed and has a big story waypoint smack bang in the middle of it?
At last, the fog has finally cleared. I've been trying to tell you for ages that
Give me that! Here are 7 obvious signs a boss fight is coming. Heal yourself.
Number 1, leading off from our intro example, is when you reach a big empty room. You've probably been hacking your way through a dungeon for half an hour, grinding down mobs that gradually rise in power as you near your destination, when suddenly the mobs disappear and the tight, winding corridors empty you into a big bowl of boss.
As soon as you see it, the big, open, empty room, often found at the top of some stairs or at the bottom of an elevator, you know what's coming.
I don't know why they even pretend otherwise, to be honest, because they do pretend, don't they? Often they'll let you walk a bit first, right into the middle of the room, before the boss finally appears and is like, oh, hello, I'm a boss. You've got to fight a boss now. I bet you weren't expecting that, were you? Yes, boss, we were. And no, making us walk halfway across the area didn't fool us. We were still expecting you. All that little walk did was give us time to use all our healing items and make sure our equipment was up to date. You're an idiot. You should have appeared out of nowhere, you know, RKO'd it up a little bit. Then maybe you wouldn't be on the receiving end of my Amazo special that I definitely wouldn't have had enough MP for if you had surprised me.
Basically, if you're new to the whole video games thing, welcome, by the way, then this is the kind of thing you're looking for. No boss, no boss, no boss, no boss. Boss.
You can see them, can't you, on the minimaps, like big pulsating growths bursting out the veins of the dungeon you're in. Know what else you can see on minimaps? Entry number 2, save points.
Now, we don't see save points as often as we used to. Most games just auto-save now, but for those games that do still have them, save points are basically just like video games' way of saying, boss fight, dead ahead.
If you've been gaming as long as I have, you'll be so conditioned to the placement of save points, you'll start reading them like punctuation. Just entered an area or dungeon for the first time? There's probably a save point there, like the fancy, bigger than usual capital letter and indentation at the start of a new chapter in a novel. It's basically the game saying, take a deep breath. You've arrived. Take it easy for a bit. Look at my lens flare, aren't I pretty? Share a screenshot if you like.
Those save points are fine, but then, at the other end of the dungeon, usually just before the big open empty room from entry number 1, you'll find another save point.
This one is a full stop. End of the chapter. Beginning of a boss fight. Often these save points will act as magical heal everyone's stones too, so they serve a number of purposes. They make the upcoming boss fight as fair as possible, ensuring you're at full strength.
They're like an anchor in the storm, so if the boss flips your boat and you capsize into the game over screen, you won't get washed all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon.
And much like the save point at the start of the dungeon, they're a breather, allowing you a quiet moment of reflection before taking the boss battle plunge.
Let's draw that on the map too. There we go. A save point. Pay attention, this drawing could save your virtual life.
Entry number 3. The game suddenly gives you an opportunity to stock up on items, healing potions and the like, often by sticking a merchant in the most unmerchanty place imaginable.
Are you absolutely sure that beneath the crater of an active volcano is a good place for a shop?
Take it up with the developers, mate. This is where they put us, innit?
Oh God! Oh, we're going to die.
You just
going
shut
to
up
die.
and help me put the price tags on these blizzard swords. These poor merchants peddling their protagonist-only wares in war zones, in frigid ice caverns, in the final boss's castle.
I wouldn't want to be them. Thankfully, not only do these merchants let you know a boss fight is imminent, they also give you a clue as to what type of boss you're about to fight. In RPGs, if you find yourself being sold weapons that are effective against fire-type enemies and heat-resistant body armor...
Dragon. We're gonna fight a dragon. Let's just add a little shop symbol there. It's getting crowded now, isn't it?
Number 4. You're suddenly interrupted by a cutscene. If you're playing through your adventure and all of a sudden the screen fades to black and a cutscene kicks in, chances are that A, you're playing Metal Gear something or other, and B, you're about to fight a boss. Hello, person I've come to rescue. This cutscene we're in is reassuring, isn't it? Let me just... Ah, yes. As I thought.
Sometimes the cutscene boss can catch you completely unawares. I distinctly remember Alchemy, the genie from the original Ni no Kuni, had practically no warning whatsoever.
I'd just got to a nice sunny seaside town, so I thought I was all safe. There was no save point, no big round area, no oddly placed merchant. We were in a town, obviously. And all of a sudden, poof, the genie appears and starts kicking my ass. The cutscene was my only warning.
So basically, cutscene bosses are video games yanking the safety net that you've constructed from your own expectations out from underneath you.
And the cutscene itself is like an apology. Sorry, they say, you've got maybe 30 seconds. No save point, no blizzard swords. Prepare yourself. Number 5 is another cruel one. So there you are, merrily leaping, slashing and menuing through your favourite game when all of a sudden...
Oh no, not the locked door of doom.
Yes, the locked door of doom. Often this sign is combined with the big round room and the save point, but unlike those two things, which are like nice friendly road signs that say boss fight, 1 mile, get in lane now, the locked door of doom is like a sadistic lunatic who's stolen all the road signs and is now dancing maniacally outside your car singing boss fight, no miles, you can't turn back. Boss fight, no smiles, your screen's gone black.
Because the boss fight has started. Sorry, I'm not good at doing rhymes.
Sometimes you won't get a physical locked door and instead will get a big red line over the area you've entered on your minimap, signifying you can't escape until whatever monstrosity that awaits you has been dealt with.
There we go. I think this is finished now. The definitive diagram of you're about to fight a boss.
Number 6. Now, we're getting a bit more subtle here, but another sign you might be about to fight a boss is if the music changes all of a sudden. Maybe it cuts out altogether.
What happened to the music?
Maybe it shifts into this ominous mind control lullaby and everything goes weird as hell and your first person camera doesn't work how it's supposed to and all of a sudden Meryl starts sounding like she's talking through a mask and the screen blacks out and it looks like your TV is broken and...
Okay, that's one very specific boss fight. Normally, the music just changes.
The nice plinky-plonky explory music suddenly becomes dramatic and tense. Maybe it completely stops, like you're breathing. You listen intently. Maybe there's a rumbling sound, a growl, and boom, it's boss time. The final entry on our list of 7 obvious signs there's a boss fight coming is when the area you're in suddenly becomes full of the horrible things the boss has done. Maybe you're in a cave and the proportion of clear floor space to rotting corpses starts to dramatically slide in favour of the latter. Maybe the boss gives off some awful colour-sapping toxin that bleaches the environment around you, and that gets worse the closer you get.
Or maybe you enter a corridor and there are dead bodies just everywhere.
Ah, this is fine, probably. I bet they were just killed by, asbestos, perhaps. Invisible, sword-wielding asbestos that can hold a man 6 feet in the air and then do that. Basically, video games are always giving you little hints and nudges and winks, sliding into your DMs, saying, hey, listen, the music's changed. Look at the area you're in. There's nasty stuff, isn't there? Look at the minimap. It's about to balloon into a gaping open hole with nothing in it. I've put a save point there for you, just in case you fancy saving before you step into the gaping hole with nothing in it. And there's a shop. Maybe buy the fire armor. I've discounted it for you. In fact, a bunch of mobs around here drop it too, just in case. Just wear the goddamn fire armor, okay? And yeah, go on, off you. Ha! No going back now. It's a boss fight. There's a boss fight coming, and I'm going to make you fight a boss now. Are you ready?
Yes, video games, I get it. I understand. I've been playing you long enough now. There are no surprises for me anymore.
And so, there's our list of 7 obvious signs there's a boss fight coming. Let us know if you can think of any more in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't yet for more of these lists every Friday. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.